Zero Effort Manifestation, Why Only 1% of People Know This Power, presented by Boundless Books Audio. Welcome to Boundless Books Audio, your sanctuary for wisdom, transformation, and powerful mindset shifts. On this channel, we don't just read books, we bring them to life. We unlock the secrets hidden in timeless knowledge and modern mindset strategies. Every audiobook here is designed to rewire your thoughts, elevate your energy, and guide you into the life you know you were born to live. If you're ready to grow, evolve, and step into your power, you're in the right place. Today's audiobook is something truly special. It's called Zero Effort Manifestation, Why Only 1% of People Know This Power, and once you understand it, your life will never be the same. Let's be honest. Most people are exhausted. They're chasing success, forcing results, and constantly wondering why life feels like an uphill battle. They hustle. They grind. They try everything, affirmations, vision boards, routines, yet they still feel stuck. But here's the truth, manifestation was never meant to be hard. In fact, the most powerful kind of manifestation is the kind that feels effortless. The kind where things start flowing to you naturally. Where opportunities, people, and wealth appear in your life almost by magic. This isn't fantasy. It's not wishful thinking. It's what the top 1% understand deeply, and practice daily. Zero effort manifestation is the power of becoming an energetic match to what you desire. It's about removing resistance, not increasing pressure. It's about aligning your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs so that you become a magnet for the things you want, instead of constantly chasing them. The reason only 1% of people unlock this power is because they've learned to master their inner world. They've stopped reacting to external noise. They don't seek validation. They don't beg the universe. They assume their power, and in doing so, they collapse time. What takes others years can happen for them in weeks, or even days. This audiobook will guide you through the hidden mechanics of manifestation. We'll explore why effort isn't the answer, why your subconscious mind is the true engine of your reality, and how to activate a state of ease, peace, and power that naturally pulls your desires into your life. If you're tired of forcing outcomes, if you're done feeling like you have to struggle for every breakthrough, then you're ready. You're ready to learn how to manifest from a place of certainty, flow, and calm energy. You're ready for zero effort manifestation, so get comfortable. Open your mind. Let go of everything you think you know about success and manifestation. This journey will challenge your beliefs, expand your awareness, and reveal the path to effortless abundance. This is Boundless Books Audio, and this is the beginning of a whole new reality. Let's get started. Chapter 1. The Laws Governing Effortless Manifestation. The universe follows unseen laws similarly to how the physical universe moves in accordance with gravity. Manifestation is not about forcing reality to comply with your will but about comprehending and adhering to these basic truths. When you understand how these laws work, effort becomes superfluous. The manifestation process occurs automatically, similar to how a river flows naturally to the ocean. Fighting against these regulations is like swimming upstream, it causes resistance and delays your ambitions. When you quit forcing, the current will carry you effortlessly. One of the most misunderstood realities in manifestation is the law of reverse effort. According to this law, the harder you strive to create something, the further away it moves. This may appear paradoxical, yet it is profoundly based on how the mind and energy function. When you try, you confess a deficit. When you seek something, you reinforce the belief that you do not have it. Consider times in your life when everything appears to be going smoothly, meeting the appropriate person, finding an opportunity, or making things work, without forethought. These circumstances emerged when you were not looking for them. The same idea applies to every manifestation. When you stop clutching, you allow what you want to come effortlessly into your life. The law of non-resistance is based on this concept. Resistance is an energetic force that prevents manifestation. Many individuals believe that in order to bring about change, they must confront their current reality, but battling against something simply makes it stronger. If you strive to avoid financial difficulties, you will end up focusing on them. If you oppose loneliness, you reinforce it. Non-resistance does not imply disregarding reality but rather allowing it to exist without emotional friction. The instant you quit resisting, reality shifts. When you accept the current moment as it exists, you provide a space for transformation. Consider how water flows around barriers rather than against them. Non-resistance enables you to travel through life in the same manner, smoothly navigating obstacles instead of being locked in them. Without conscious effort, there is the law of automatic creation, which explains why some manifestations occur without desire. Your subconscious mind is constantly generating, whether you're aware of it or not. This is why patterns emerge in people's lives. Some people are continually struggling with their relationships, others achieve financial abundance without trying. It's not about luck, it's about deep subconscious programming. Your exterior world reflects the patterns that run beneath your conscious awareness. When a person repeatedly faces the same difficulties or triumphs, it is not due to effort, it is because their subconscious is in tune with those facts. This law demonstrates that manifestation is an ongoing process rather than a one-time event. The goal is to recognize what is already being generated automatically and to comprehend that reality is influenced by deep-seated internal patterns rather than fleeting attempts. The law of synchronicity is another force that governs easy manifestation. When you align with the flow of life, everything falls into place without difficulty. Synchronicity refers to the occurrence of meaningful coincidences. Meeting the right person at the right time, receiving unexpected opportunities, or discovering information that completely solves your questions, these are not random phenomena but rather indicators of alignment. When people struggle to materialize, it is usually because they are attempting to control how events unfold instead of allowing the natural order to emerge. The more you let go of the impulse to impose results, the more you encounter synchronistic circumstances that point you in the right direction. The universe is constantly communicating. And if you pay attention, you'll notice patterns emerge naturally. The secret to experiencing synchronicity is to let life flow rather than continually attempting to anticipate or manage the process. Finally, there is the law of rapid completion, which is the most potent realization in easy manifestation. According to this law, when you assume something is already yours, reality changes to reflect your assumption. It's not about waiting for proof, it's about knowing it's already finished. Many people believe that their wishes are in the future, which creates an energetic distance between them and their manifestations. However, everything is already complete. When you completely embrace this, your exterior reality begins to reflect it. This is why some people seem to get things done right away, while others have to wait for years. The difference is not in the effort but in the degree of conviction. When you truly believe that something is already complete, reality has no choice but to reflect that assumption. Each of these laws works perfectly together to create a structure that requires no effort. Manifestation action is not about pushing reality to change, but about comprehending how it currently works. The more you comply with these laws, the less effort is required. This is not because you are attempting to do something unusual, but because you understand that reality always responds to these principles, whether you are aware of it or not. Chapter 2 examines the unseen role of silence in manifestation. Silence is one of the most underappreciated but strong forces in manifestation. In a world where people are continually told to express their desires, declare their objectives, and share their dreams, most people do not realize the actual power of quiet. Yet reality does not respond to words, it responds to energy. The deepest transformation happens not through speech but through silent understanding. This is because stillness eliminates disturbance, allowing the manifestation to proceed smoothly. True alignment occurs within quiet, where energy arranges itself in ways that words or acts cannot control. When you stop talking about what you desire and instead maintain an unshakable belief within yourself, the outside world adapts to that state. Words have the potential to spread energy. Each time you express a desire, you externalize it, you position it outside of yourself. The more you talk about what you desire, the more you emphasize that it does not yet exist. When someone repeatedly talks about their aspirations, they unintentionally convince the universe that these things are still separate from them. This generates a condition of waiting, a distance between where they are and where they wish to go. But quiet closes that gap. Silence is not simply the absence of words, it represents the existence of certainty. When you internally accept something as true without having to speak about it, it integrates into your reality much faster. Silence indicates completion, while words frequently indicate a shortage. Inner stillness is the ultimate catalyst of manifestation. When the mind is tranquil, there is no opposition or counteracting force that disrupts the natural flow. Manifestation does not involve convincing the cosmos by repetition or pronouncements, it's about becoming internally connected with your desires. Most people unintentionally delay their manifestations by overthinking, explaining, and analyzing their wishes. The more the mind discusses, the more uncertainty arises. True power emerges when the mind is silent, enabling a deeper intelligence to take over. A tranquil mind reflects reality in its purest form, just as a calm lake reflects an image flawlessly. When you cease interfering with the process by analyzing, explaining, or questioning, the manifestation will naturally travel toward you. Talking about your desires too much not only delays them but also depletes your vitality. When you continually communicate your intentions, instead of concentrating that energy, you distribute it outside. This is why people who constantly share their dreams struggle to make them a reality. They believe that talking about something strengthens it, but it actually disperses the energy required to make it concrete. Silence is powerful because it holds energy in place. Imagine a seed planted in the ground. If you continue to dig it up to check on its progress, it will never grow properly. But if you leave it alone, nature takes control, and it develops naturally. The same goes for manifestation. Speaking too much about a desire is like ripping up the roots before they have had a chance to settle. There is a fundamental way that only requires stillness, the silent knowing. Silent knowing does not involve hoping, wanting, or even affirming. It's about psychologically getting at your target without having to prove or communicate anything. When you have an unshakable belief that something is already yours, reality has no choice but to reflect this. This is not equivalent to believing or hoping, these states nevertheless have an element of ambiguity. Silent knowing is absolute. It does not seek validation, does not need external confirmation, and does not waver. Those who manifest effortlessly do not feel compelled to announce their desires, they simply carry a sense of fulfillment within them. People who embody quiet awareness navigate through the world in diverse ways. They don't justify, explain, or seek acceptance for their actions. They don't need to reveal what they're working on because they already act as if it's finished. Their vitality speaks for them, others can feel it even when no words are spoken. This explains why certain people seem to draw chances effortlessly. They don't chase, they do not seek validation, and do not share their route with others. Their peaceful assurance becomes a gravitational pull. When you function from a place of silence and knowing, people, opportunities, and events will naturally organize themselves around you. The exterior world mirrors the interior condition, and when the internal state is one of silent fulfillment, manifestation occurs naturally. Silence is not nothingness, it represents completeness. It is a place where actual creation occurs. When you step into silence, you gain power. Words, explanations, and affirmations will only take you so far. However, silence conveys ultimate power. The more you embrace silence, the faster manifestation occurs, not because you are forcing it but because you are no longer impeding its progress. The third chapter discusses the effortless power of instant choices. Most people approach manifestation with the intention of wanting, hoping, or wishing. They believe that if they wish for something strongly enough, the universe will finally answer. However, desire alone does not create reality. Decision occurs when you move from wanting something to choosing it. Everything changes. Wanting lacks authority, whereas choosing does. When you merely want, you are acknowledging a deficiency. When you make a choice, you claim ownership. Reality responds not to hazy wants but to strong, non-negotiable decisions. The power lies in the assurance of decision-making. Imagine you're standing in front of two doors. One leads to the desired reality, while the other holds you in your current situation. Wanting to enter the door accomplishes nothing. Hoping it will open sometime keeps you waiting. But the moment you choose to walk along the path, it exposes itself. This is how reality works. It doesn't react to doubt or reluctance, it responds to clarity. Most individuals make the mistake of believing that simply wishing for something will bring it into existence. However, yearning keeps the desire at a distance. It's like standing on one side of a river and saying, "I wish I were on the other side." The wish does not move you. When you resolve to be there, you take the unseen bridge that was always there. Hoping is one of the most significant delays in manifestation. Hope entails uncertainty. It says, "I believe this could happen, but I'm not certain." This hesitation conveys a sense of waiting rather than receiving. The universe reflects the energy you project, so suppose you are hoping, the universe will continue to reflect your state of hope. Rather than having hope, in that case, you are passively placing power outside of yourself. It implies that something external must fulfill your wish rather than acknowledging that you are the one who shapes reality. Hope is frequently misidentified as optimism. Yet actual creation does not result from hoping, it stems from being aware of the time you leave. "I'm hoping that this happens." You move from doubt to command. Few people realize how powerful the phrase, "I decide," is. The decision is more than just consciously selecting something, it represents an energetic transformation. It signifies the internal argument has concluded. It means you no longer consider the prospect of not having what you want. This clarity causes reality to adjust. Think about how the world reacts to someone certain. If someone enters a room with confidence, people notice; when they pause, people ignore them. The same idea is applicable to manifestation. The moment you determine that something is yours, the universe takes note. The decision eliminates resistance. Resistance exists when there is uncertainty or reluctance, but when you make your final decision, there is no counterforce left to slow things down. There is a significant difference between pondering something and really embracing it. Contemplation is weak because it confines things to the domain of ideas rather than reality. Many people consider their desires, examine their options, and weigh their selections, but they never confront the reality of possessing. They remain in a state of inquiry rather than experiencing embodiment. On the other hand, it occurs immediately. It entails truly experiencing the state of already possessing. When you embody a decision, you don't have to think about it. A tree does not have to choose to be a tree every day. Your reality does not have to be continuously examined, it simply is. When a decision becomes unavoidable, manifestation occurs naturally. This is the distinction between those who manifest effortlessly and those who fight. People who get easy results do not consider their dreams as possibilities, they consider them as finished. There is no question in their minds about the alternative outcome. They don't have to convince themselves or repeat affirmations to make things happen, they merely live in the state of having, and reality follows. When something is unavoidable, there is no struggle, no doubt, no effort, it just is. Reality conforms to the clarity of decision. When you embrace the power of rapid choice, there is no need to wait, desire, or hope, there is only assurance about what it is. Chapter 4: The Power of Forgetting Your Desires. One of the most surprising truths of manifestation is that the more you ignore your wishes, the faster they manifest. This contradicts what most people believe because they are taught to focus on their desires. They visualize it continuously and remind themselves of it on a regular basis. However, the act of remembering a want too frequently puts it in a condition of wanting rather than having. The rationale for getting work is straightforward: when you stop thinking about something, you don't reinforce its absence. You're no longer looking for it, wondering where it is, or doubting that it will happen. In that state, manifestation occurs effortlessly. When you are continually thinking about your wants, you unintentionally build. Resistance occurs every time you look for indicators. Check yourself to see if they are working. You're signaling to reality that it's not yet here. You are exacerbating the distance between yourself and your manifestation. Consider putting a seed in the earth. If you dig it up every day to see if it has sprouted, you will disturb its natural growth cycle. However, if you plant it and then forget about it, nature takes over and it grows naturally. The same idea is applicable to manifestation. When you mentally check on a desire too frequently, you slow down its natural progression. But when you set it and forget it, the energy flows freely, resulting in the right timing. There is hidden power in setting an aim and then letting it go. This is known as the set and forget strategy. Instead of constantly reflecting on what you want, you make a decision, then transfer your concentration elsewhere. This works because the subconscious mind keeps working on it without interruption. The subconscious functions like a sophisticated computer in the background. It doesn't require conscious reminders to complete its work. When a command is given, it is processed automatically. Many individuals wrongly feel that they must constantly reinforce their desires, yet this merely confuses the subconscious. It's similar to placing an order at a restaurant. Once you've ordered, you don't have to constantly remind the waiter that you believe your food will arrive. The same is true with manifestation. When the subconscious receives explicit instructions, it takes care of the details. The less you interfere, the more smoothly the process runs. Overthinking is one of the most significant hurdles to manifestation. When the mind tries to analyze how or when something will occur, it generates uncertainty and resistance. The rational mind attempts to calculate every conceivable conclusion, looking for ways to influence the process. However, manifestation does not follow rationality, it follows energy. As you analyze more, you become more uncertain. Overthinking causes unnecessary delays by trapping the mind in a cycle of questions. The best manifestations occur when there is no interruption from the thinking mind. This is why many people have unexpected outcomes in areas to which they are not particularly attached. When there is no overanalysis, everything flows smoothly. Some of the most powerful manifestations occur when you entirely forget you even asked for them. Have you ever noticed that the things you get the easiest are usually the ones you don't stress about? This is because forgetting about a desire removes any resistance to it. You're no longer attempting to force it, monitor it, or make it happen. You unknowingly entered the state of allowing. Reality frequently offers what you want in ways you never expect. Sometimes you don't see it coming. The explanation for this is simple: without mental distraction, the process runs smoothly. Letting reality surprise you is one of the simplest ways to materialize. The most spectacular manifestations are typically those you don't even remember seeking. This is because genuine, effortless creation occurs when there is no emotional depth, personal attachment, or desperate desire for the outcome. When you forget about a desire, you no longer put it outside of yourself. You are inadvertently living in a state that already exists. The less attention you pay to when or how it will occur, the faster it appears. This explains why unexpected manifestations seem so amazing. They did not happen by chance. It is that things occurred without resistance. When you let go of a desire, you allow it to manifest in your reality spontaneously. Forgetting does not imply ignoring or dismissing what you want, just means that you no longer feel compelled to think about it. Manifestation is a process that functions best when left alone. The less you recall your desire, the quicker it will arrive. Chapter 5. Random ideas or infrequent affirmations do not cause the magnetic pull of self-concept manifestation. It occurs as a direct mirror of who you think you are. Your self-concept is the foundation for everything you attract. People often believe that changing their thoughts will change their reality, but thoughts alone are insufficient. If you still see yourself as someone who suffers, fails, or lacks what you want, that identity will prevail over any positive thoughts. Reality is shaped not by transient thoughts but by your fundamental assumptions about yourself. This is why two people can use identical manifestation techniques, but only one gets results. The individual whose self-concept matches their desires will experience effortless manifestation, while the other will struggle to observe any change. The subconscious mind functions like a locked-in autopilot system. It works based on the identity you've accepted as true. Suppose you picture yourself as someone who consistently attracts income opportunities and success. In that case, your subconscious will generate events that support that idea. However, if you see yourself as someone who suffers, no external effort will change that internal pattern. This is why manifestation does not include imposing results. It is about changing your internal identity, which dictates what naturally occurs in your life. The subconscious does not challenge your beliefs about yourself, it merely confirms them to be correct. If you unconsciously believe that things come easy to you, they will. If you believe life is difficult, your beliefs will emerge in ways that support them. Instead of attempting to compel a single consequence, the simple solution is to change the identity that governs all outcomes. Many people concentrate on specific manifestations aiming to attract one thing at a time. However, when you modify your self-concept, you no longer need to acquire stuff, they appear as a natural consequence of who you are. A person who sincerely feels themselves wealthy does not need to manifest money, it comes to them effortlessly. Someone who perceives themselves as liked does not need to pursue partnerships, they make intimate bonds effortlessly. When your identity changes, reality adjusts without resistance, bringing you closer to your desires. It is not about external action, it is about inward embodiment. Most individuals seek proof before believing anything is true. But reality does not work that way. The external world reflects interior beliefs. The simplest approach to experiencing change is to act as if it has already happened. This does not imply deceiving or pushing oneself to believe something you don't feel. It entails fully accepting and embodying the version of yourself that already possesses what you desire. If you were already successful, how would you proceed, think, and behave? When you start living from that condition rather than trying to get there, your reality has no choice but to align. Certain people manifest instantly because they possess unshakable certainty. They don't wonder whether their desires will be fulfilled, they understand that this assurance is not based on external confirmation or waiting for things to appear. It stems from a strong, unflinching belief in their identity. Someone who knows they are successful does not doubt it, even if there is no present evidence. This self-assured state of being generates an effortless tug toward the desired objective. Reality shifts in reaction to certainty, the less doubt, the quicker the manifestation. People who only know live in a reality in which their desires already exist and, as a result, they experience immediate results without effort. Your surroundings are constantly reflecting your identity, change who you are at your core, and everything else will follow naturally. Chapter 6: How to Alter Time to Achieve Speedier Results. Time is frequently portrayed as a permanent, unchanging force, while in actuality, it is flexible. The way you perceive time influences how swiftly or slowly events unfold in your life. Many people feel that they must wait for their desires to manifest linearly from the current instant to a distant future in which their aims are eventually realized. However, manifestation does not follow a strict timeline. The future is not something you work towards. It is already present, and your perception decides how quickly you encounter it. The assumption that time is linear is an illusion. In truth, every potential reality already exists, and your consciousness selects which one you enter. Most individuals believe they are traveling through time, still in actuality, they are moving between several versions of reality depending on their focus and beliefs. Imagine a large library where each book represents a different aspect of your life. You're not creating your future as you go, you are choosing which book to dive into. The moment you align with a specific future, it becomes your present. This is why some people see immediate improvements while others may wait for years. Those who collapse time recognize that a slow-moving process does not limit them. Collapsing time involves skipping the gap between desire and fulfillment. Most people assume that manifestation takes time because they are trained to think in cause and effect sequences. They believe that specific measures must be taken and that results will take time. However, those who collapse time, as a result, they experience immediate results without effort. Your surroundings are constantly reflecting your identity, change who you are at your core, and everything else will follow naturally. Chapter 6: How to Alter Time to Achieve Speedier Results. Time is frequently portrayed as a permanent, unchanging force, while in actuality, it is flexible. The way you perceive time influences how swiftly or slowly events unfold in your life. Many people feel that they must wait for their desires to manifest linearly from the current instant to a distant future in which their aims are eventually realized. However, manifestation does not follow a strict timeline. The future is not something you work towards. It is already present, and your perception decides how quickly you encounter it. The assumption that time is linear is an illusion. In truth, every potential reality already exists, and your consciousness selects which one you enter. Most individuals believe they are traveling through time, still in actuality, they are moving between several versions of reality depending on their focus and beliefs. Imagine a large library where each book represents a different aspect of your life. You're not creating your future as you go, you are choosing which book to dive into. The moment you align with a specific future, it becomes your present. This is why some people see immediate improvements while others may wait for years. Those who collapse time recognize that a slow-moving process does not limit them. Collapsing time involves skipping the gap between desire and fulfillment. Most people assume that manifestation takes time because they are trained to think in cause and effect sequences. They believe that specific measures must be taken and that results will take time. However, those who collapse time avoid these phases by altering your perception. When you expect something to take years, it does. When you expect it to happen instantly, you enter a version of reality in which it has already occurred. External factors do not decide how long anything takes, rather, your consciousness does. This is why those who believe in gradual progress frequently face long delays, but those who expect speedy results achieve them readily. The speed of manifestation is directly determined by your perception of time. A minute might feel like an eternity or pass in the blink of an eye, and the manifestation process speeds up or slows down depending on how you relate to time. When you focus on how long something takes, you extend time and cause unnecessary delays. However, when you enter a state of already possessing, time collapses and outcomes emerge quickly. People who constantly check the clock, wondering when their desire will arrive, unintentionally prolong the process. Those who lose track of time and immerse themselves in the condition of already having moved into the timeline in which their wishes exist. Parallel realities hold the key to instantaneous changes. Each moment is more than just a repeat of the past, it is a gateway to a completely different reality. Every second, you have the opportunity to experience a different version of your life. This suggests that waiting is unnecessary. Instead of viewing manifestation as something that must occur over time, consider how each thought and belief creates a new form of reality. Those who understand this principle undergo quick metamorphosis. They don't wait for change, they shift into it. You don't have to advance toward your goal because different realities exist at the same time. You can align with the reality where it already exists. One of the quickest methods to get rapid results is to act as if your manifestation has already occurred. This is not about pretending or deceiving yourself, it is about completely immersing yourself in the version of reality in which your dream is already a reality. When you embody the experience you already possess, you eliminate the time delay since there is no longer a separation between you and your goal. Those who act as if they do not need external affirmation before accepting their reality live as if their wish is already present, and as a result, time works in their favor. They are not limited by wait times or poor pace. They live in a state in which their ideal world is the sole reality. Time is not a barrier to manifestation until you make it such. The way you perceive time influences your experience. By shifting your focus and entering a version of reality in which your desires are already realized, you avoid the unwanted waiting period and achieve results quickly. Chapter 7: The Hidden Value of Doing the Opposite. Manifestation frequently operates in ways that defy conventional logic. They believe that the harder they press, the faster the results will arrive. However, the contrary is often true. The more you attempt, the more resistance you generate. The harder you push something, the farther away it gets. This is because desperation signals a deficiency, and the cosmos reflects that lack back to you. People who effortlessly manifest do not pursue force or struggle, they allow. They recognize that effort may frequently be a roadblock rather than a facilitator. True power comes from taking a step back rather than pressing forward. One of the most unexpected aspects of manifestation is that forgetting about your desire accelerates its arrival. This appears illogical at first. How do you get something without thinking about it? The answer is in how energy works. When you are consistently focused on something, you're emphasizing the fact that you don't yet have it because your thoughts, emotions, and energy are communicating to the cosmos that this need is still unfulfilled. However, when you forget about it, that signal is released. You stop promoting the shortage and let the desire come organically. This is why many individuals discover that things they truly want take forever to manifest, whereas things they merely wish for arrive practically instantaneously. The lower the attachment, the faster the manifestation. Moving away from your want can sometimes be the key to manifesting it. People frequently believe that they must remain focused on their objective, visualizing it daily and maintaining it in their minds at all times. However, this strategy frequently inhibits manifestation by keeping the desire in the state of a not yet. Those who experience effortless manifestation frequently do the reverse. Instead of worrying about their desires, they focus on something completely unrelated. They shift their focus to other elements of life, completely immersed in the current moment. This shift in focus allows the energy of their desire to manifest without interruption. It's comparable to how an artist may struggle to solve a problem when they think about it too much. Still, the solution comes easily when they take a break. The same idea is applicable to manifestation. The best outcomes frequently occur when you stop striving so hard. Allowing discomfort is another little-known technique to smooth manifestation. Most people become nervous when things are unknown. Rather than rejecting them, they become panicked when they do not see immediate results. This dread and doubt generate resistance, which prevents manifestation. But those who master the art of letting discomfort experience the most rapid transformations. They don't fight ambiguity, they accept it. They do not strive to impose clarity or control over the process. Instead, they sit still and let things happen organically. This act of allowing makes room for wants to emerge without opposition. When you quit fearing uncertainty, you remove one of the most significant barriers to manifestation. Perhaps the most startling fact in manifestation is that doing nothing can be the most effective action of all. People are conditioned to believe that effort produces outcomes. They believe that unless they are constantly working towards their goal, nothing will happen. However, in manifestation, action is not necessarily required. In many circumstances, stepping aside and allowing the process to unfold naturally yields the quickest outcomes. This is because taking action out of a sense of scarcity or fear just perpetuates the absence of what one desires. Those who manifest naturally frequently take no action at all. They let their desires come to them rather than chasing them. They trust the process and do not intervene. This level of trust produces an energetic harmony, allowing reality to move in their favor smoothly. Manifestation does not necessarily necessitate doing more. Sometimes it's necessary to do the opposite of what seems logical. Letting go, shifting the attention, allowing discomfort, and even doing nothing can be quite effective approaches. The paradox of manifestation is that the less you try, the faster the results arrive. Chapter 8: Reality as a Preset Illusion. The ultimate expression. Most people believe that manifestation involves producing something out of nothing, shaping reality with willpower and effort. However, this assumption is founded on a misunderstanding of how reality actually works. Nothing is being generated, everything already exists. Every possible version of your existence is already present, existing in parallel possibilities. The process of manifestation is not about pushing something to exist, it is about entering a version of reality. When your desire is already realized, and you truly understand this manifestation, it ceases to feel like a struggle. You no longer see your desires as distant goals to fulfill, but as current states you can enter at any time. This shift in perspective changes everything. Instead of viewing manifestation as a process that requires time, energy, or effort, you begin to see it as a matter of choice. Choosing a television program is similar to tuning into a different frequency of existence. You do not have to create a world where you are already successful, affluent, or fulfilled, it is something you can select. Most people make the mistake of believing they must start from scratch to achieve their ambitions. This belief causes conflict, as it suggests that what people desire does not yet exist. However, those who understand manifestation recognize that they are not building, they are aligning. Instant changes occur when people unknowingly enter a new reality without resistance. You may have experienced moments in your life when things shifted effortlessly or unexpectedly. Perhaps you met someone at the right time, an opportunity arose out of nowhere, or a situation changed overnight. These shifts did not happen because you worked for them, they happened because you unintentionally entered a new reality where the outcomes were already true. Some people achieve rapid success not because they are lucky or exceptional, but because they naturally exist in a state of alignment with the reality they desire. They do not doubt that everything will work out, they already assume it will. This assumption places individuals in a period where their aspirations can be easily achieved. Obstacles are not real, they are just perceptions. The human mind is programmed to perceive obstacles, constraints and difficulties, but in reality, these are only illusions formed by perspective. A challenge exists only if you think it does. When you stop perceiving something as a barrier, it ceases to be one. Many people struggle with manifestation because they perceive difficulties where none exist. They feel that in order to achieve their goals, they must first conquer obstacles. However, individuals who manifest effortlessly do not see impediments. Instead of focusing on what appears to be a roadblock, they find opportunities. They simply enter a version of reality in which the obstacle does not exist. This is why some people succeed and others suffer. It's not because they work more or have greater opportunities. It's because they see reality differently. The most effective manifestation of change is realizing that you are the spectator rather than the controller. People frequently want to control every aspect of their manifestation, micromanaging outcomes and stressing about whether things are going appropriately. However, reality is beyond your control, it is something you must observe. The moment you let go of control and switch to observation, everything lines up properly on its own. This is because reality flows naturally when it is not imposed. Consider attempting to regulate the flow of a river by catching the water. The more you try to grip it, the more it slides between your fingers. However, when you take a step back and allow everything to flow, everything happens precisely as it should. Manifestation works similarly. Those who continually monitor, worry about, and meddle with the process generate resistance. However, those who step back and observe allow reality to unfold properly without effort. Reality cannot be built or fought for, it is something to be experienced. When you realize that whatever you want already exists and that you don't need to make it, manifestation becomes simple. There's no reason to struggle, push, or force anything. The sole condition is to be aligned with the version of reality in which your wish is already realized. Obstacles disappear when you stop attempting to manipulate reality and instead witness it. Time collapses and shifts occur immediately. Bonus chapter on the hidden manifestation potential of emptiness. Most individuals assume that manifestation necessitates ongoing mental effort, affirmations, visualization, or an unwavering belief in a particular conclusion. They believe that they must fill their thoughts with goals and effort, constantly focusing on their desires. However, there is a hidden power that few realize: emptiness. True creation occurs when the mind is open, clear, and spacious rather than when it is full of effort. Emptiness is the silent power that enables manifestation to happen without effort. Emptiness does not mean the absence of desire, it's the lack of opposition. When the mind is overburdened with expectations, worries, and the desire for things to happen in a certain way, friction occurs. This friction slows the manifestation process, just as a river clogged with junk cannot flow smoothly. However, when the mind is empty, it becomes a clear conduit for truth to flow smoothly. People who experience fast manifestation are less likely to obsess about their desires. They are not continuously reflecting on their dreams or trying hard to believe in them. They exist in a state of openness. They allow things to flow freely, resulting in effortless manifestations. Emptiness creates space for new realities to arise, just as a cup must be empty before being filled. Your reality must make room for something new to arrive. Many people struggle to manifest because their brains are already occupied, full of uncertainties, fears, prior failures, and attachments to particular outcomes. They attempt to force their demands into an already crowded environment. However, actual manifestation occurs when there is space for something new. When the mind remains open, it creates a vacuum which the cosmos fills spontaneously with what is required. This is why inspiration frequently occurs in moments of silence. When you're not attempting to think of an idea, it just arrives. The same idea is applicable to manifestation. When you quit filling the space with effort, what you want pours in naturally. Getting rid of mental clutter is one of the quickest ways to tap into the power of emptiness. Clutter is not only physical, it exists in thoughts, feelings, and energy. People have unneeded mental baggage. Their old beliefs no longer benefit them, worries about the future, and attachments to items they believe they require. However, manifestation does not work when the mind is cluttered. A messy area feels disorganized and overwhelming. A cluttered mind leads to confusion in the manifestation process. Those who experience effortless manifestation frequently do mental cleaning. They do not hold on to unimportant notions. They don't dwell on the past or overthink the future. Instead, they maintain their minds pure and open, allowing reality to shape itself naturally. One of the most profound aspects of emptiness is that it allows you to receive rather than chase. Most individuals approach manifestation with a spirit of pursuit. They are always reaching, clutching, and attempting to achieve what they want. However, seeking energy generates resistance. It communicates to the universe that what they desire is distinct from them. However, those who master nothingness do not chase, they allow. They let go of the need to make things happen. They believe that what is meant for them will arrive organically. This transition from chasing to receiving is one of the most profound shifts in manifestation. You stop reaching for something, and instead, create room for it. It comes naturally. Emptiness does not equal nothingness. There is a possibility. It is the place where every possibility exists. People typically fear emptiness because it is associated with scarcity, boredom, or uncertainty, but in reality, emptiness is pure creation. It's the source of everything. When you embrace the power of nothingness, there is no need to battle or push results. You become an open channel for manifestation, allowing reality to unfold in perfect harmony. Conclusion: manifestation does not involve struggle, effort, or waiting. It's all about alignment. You've discovered that the key to zero-effort manifestation is to grasp universal rules. Embrace silence, make instant decisions, let go, shape your identity, bend time, do the opposite of what feels reasonable, and recognize reality as a predetermined illusion. Each part has disclosed a distinct layer of the truth, demonstrating that what you want is already available. You simply have to step into it. There is no force required, no obstacles to overcome, and no boundaries other than those imposed by your perception. When you identify with the reality you want to create, the universe reacts effortlessly. Congratulate yourself once you finish this stunning audiobook. The true transformation begins. If this message spoke to you, it suggests that something inside you has already begun to move. Now it is your turn to use this power. If you appreciate this video, you are affirming that effortless manifestation is possible for you. If you share it, you release this energy into the world, improve your alignment, and by subscribing, you enter a higher reality in which these secrets become second nature. Everything is already happening. Thanks for listening to Boundless Books Audio, where knowledge fuels transformation. If you found this audiobook valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that helps you unlock your potential.